Hello, this is Julie. I thought I would do an end of the year eBay sales update. Now I've been doing this since the end of August, and of course that was a good time to get into it with the startup of the holiday sales. And I visited a few estate sales, which I haven't done very little of, and those estate sales were good sellers for me. But I just wanted to show you some of the things. Now these are mainly from November and December, and some highlights, just mainly showing you the things that I sold that I learned something from. And this first one is just plain unusual and kind of ugly. But I was at this estate sale, filling a bag. The lady wanted me to make her a deal, so I was just putting everything I found in a bag. And I understand that unusual, and especially if it's unusual in vintage. So I found out about this little guy. Thankfully he had a little tag that looked vintage, but it says, "I'm Slurp," S-L-U-R-P. So I thought, looks interesting, I'll give it a try. I looked on eBay, they were selling anywhere from $50 to $100. So I decided to put this on an auction to see where it would go. And in the end, Slurp sold for $60. And so even though this was lightweight and could have gone first class with the price being $60, and I wanting to please the customer very much, I stuck him in a priority box, insured him for the total amount, and everything went well with that sale. The next one, sheets. I love vintage sheets and good quality sheets. This was Toy Story Disney twin flat and fitted bed sheet from 1995, and it was in very good condition. And I had this listed maybe 15 minutes and it sold. So I don't quite understand what the pull is with vintage sheets, especially the kid ones, but I was glad to send it off at $40. And I typically don't spend more than $5 for a sheet. More are $2 to $3, and I of course like to find the whole set, but thrift stores often separate the pillowcases from the rest of the sheets. But even single sheets sell well if it's a good character or good quality. Now this came from another estate sale. This lady had been to England, and this was just a canvas reusable tote bag, and the Harrods was embroidered on it. It looked very good quality. The lady said she hardly ever used it, and I ended up being able to get $20. And she said she was there the year after Prince Diana passed away, and so that I knew it was vintage. Okay, I'm not gonna picture. This is pantyhose. That's kind of what I understand, the bread and butter items. I picked these up real cheap, and they seem to the larger sizes. This was a queen tall. I've sold 3X, 4X, all the way up to 5X, and they seem to sell. They're not a big money maker, but they consistently sell, so that's good. Another thing I found was these cork-backed kind of, I don't know how to explain, the top is kind of like a plastic acrylic, I'm not sure, but they are heavy. And the Spode and the Pimpernel sell fairly well. It was a little bit of, it took me a little while to figure out how to ship this and make sure that they didn't get damaged in shipment. So that's another item that I'm always looking for. Okay, I went to this sale, And I walked in, and I knew something wasn't quite right. They were selling the house, and this lady happened to be an Estee Lauder representative, and she was selling these little this one was 0.17 ounce little bottles of this Advanced Night Repair Eye Synchronized Complex. And I looked it up, and these are going for quite a bit of money. And I realized after I left, someone in the house had been a smoker, and it was, it clung to the stuff, and so I did kind of air it out. And of course, that's always something to think about when you do buy at garage sales and such, if the person had pets or smokers. And I'm not sure I want to buy much of this kind of stuff because it's hard to know if it is authentic. And I thought about that after I mailed it off, that, what if the person says this is not authentic? I wouldn't be able to prove it because it's not sealed. I prefer to sell, and I have sold some that are in a sealed container, and then you know for sure that it is authentic product, but something to look out for. Then Vera Bradley. I didn't know Vera Bradley made placemats and napkins, and I found this, and I believe this is a retired pattern, and it was 2 placemats and 2 napkins, and those sold for $26.99. And this was another estate sale. Just found some fun, new in the box. They were vintage cards, several years old, but new in the box. And with my last name being Brown, I thought if I run out of Christmas cards, since we always have a Charlie Brown Christmas, I thought I would get these for my own, but I looked them up on eBay and was able to get $20 plus shipping for them. They were real fun and glittery, real nice quality cards. And I saw this at a thrift store. It is a stovetop percolator, and I thought maybe for camp stove as well. And this thing was like in perfect condition. And again, this was kind of a challenge to figure out how to package it so it wouldn't get, the top of it is glass, wouldn't get damaged, bent or anything. And it did quite take a little bit of shipping cost, but the person that bought it sent me a message saying it perks the best coffee she's ever tasted. And then I believe from Margaret, Texas, Gal Treasures, she told me about Littlest Pet Shop, and I just found this bag of, just a bunch of different critters and a few, I guess this was the Get Better Center or something like that, and I didn't know much about it, so I just described it as it was. A few of the pieces I don't think are Littlest Pet Shop, but they would be fun to play with it. The Get Better Center was not complete from my research, but it still went, and I did put this on auction. Again, I wasn't sure what the value might come out as, and it did take a little bit to ship it. Okay, this was a game I found at a thrift store, and it's like Monopoly in space, and it seemed to be fairly popular. Now, this was long. I think, I don't know, 18 inches, 24 inches. It was quite a long box. And so I decided that since actually this one I made my own box for it. The box itself wasn't real sturdy, so I made a box for it. So I've learned to make boxes. Okay, this was a Crate and Barrel table runner. Beautiful. It was plush material, and I like to look at table runners, but they have to be name brand. I just don't bother with anything that's not name brand. I don't think it would stand out in somebody's search. But this one I sold for $23.99 pretty quickly. And this was also from another estate sale. It was Swiss Army Precision Gear Ballistic Backpack Bag. And it was in excellent condition, and I did take a best offer, had a lot of watchers. It's a smaller bag, wasn't real big, it's like a mini backpack, and so I found a price point that people were willing to spend for it. And you may remember this summer, this is the estate sale that Slurp came from, Twiggy from 1967, in almost pristine condition, and I saw one that sold for $1.99, so I put it up for $149.99, free shipping, and it took a little while, but it sold. And again, it would be easy to ship, but I did not want that thermos to get any damage to it, and when you're shipping something that expensive, I took out extra insurance and made sure that was packed well. And sheets. Ralph Lauren makes good sheets, and this was a fun sheet. It had ruffles on the bottom edges, and the pillowcases had ruffles, so I was able to sell that one for $50. Okay, this is a learn from experience. This was a Garnet Hill Painted Pony twin duvet cover, and I put this on auction because the ones that had sold fairly high, and I did have 11 bids on this. The bids went up to $66. As I was packing it, I came across some spots that I had not spotted before. I now have become a better spot checker. So I quickly sent pictures to the winning bidder, and they declined, which I totally understood. And so they gracefully, I canceled the order, and I just took new pictures. I showed the spots. I did put it up, started at a lower bid. I did get another bid, and it sold for okay amount, but it is coming back to me. The lady said she would really love to love it, but it was too faded for her. So, you know, that's fine. But now I'm not really sure what I should do with it. So if you have any advice, let me know, because I'm not sure if three times a charm or not. So let me see, where am I? Okay, Nick and Nora. I've sold a few pajama sets. These sell fairly well. This was just a cowboy top that sold for $20. It was in very good condition, so I always look out for Nick and Nora. This was an oil cloth from Amana Mills, Victorian Christmas tablecloth. And you know, I found this for $1.50, sold it for $20, and the reason I bring this up is the lady gave it to her mother, and they were just so excited and wondered, you know, if I sold more tablecloths, if they would be interested in them. So when you find someone that's so satisfied with their purchase, it really makes a difference. Now this was also from the Slurp sale, and this was also a very long package, but it was very sturdy. Inside was a lot of styrofoam that held the little magnetic discs. So this one I just took like butcher paper and just wrapped it. You know, we used to do that all the time when we would ship things. We would just wrap it with heavy paper. And so I didn't feel like I needed to put a box in a box, and it was a sturdy box, and so I shipped it that way. And again, it was $60, so I took out a little bit of extra insurance for the full value. I love my pillow shams. I can get 2 pillow shams for under $5, and like this one, I believe I took $35, and the buyer paid shipping. So look for name brand pillow shams. And Playmobil figures. This was they were just in a bag at thrift store, and some of these figures, kind of like the Littlest Pet Shop, they go for big money. So this was kind of a royal queen fantasy unicorn type set, so I just sold it as a lot. And this was from a summer garage sale, and I got these, I think there were 24 of these little tins for $1. And they've gone through a few cycles in on eBay before selling. I didn't get any offers. One person asked if they could just buy one of the colors, and I figured I only paid a quarter. I really wanted to sell the whole lot. Well, I finally did sell them for $25. So quarter to $25 is not bad if you can be patient. This is a tie rack. I almost passed this up. It was $1.50, and it was in pretty good shape. But I decided I would pick it up, and it sold, within, I think, 12 hours. But it was light enough to go first class, but it's too long to go first class. And so I did have to pay a little bit more for the shipping. But another thing learned is that first class not only has weight restrictions, it has measurement restrictions. Okay, hope you're hanging in there. Oh my goodness, this video's getting to be long. Okay, let's see, what is this? Okay, napkin rings. I have heard from other YouTubers that sell on eBay about napkin rings, and these were real nice, kind of mother of pearl inlay bronze napkin ring holders. Some of them still had the original store tag on them from Dayton's, and I found 3 sets of napkin rings in one big Ziploc, and another set was snowflakes, and they were marked $6.99, and they were in the Christmas section, and Christmas stuff was 50% off. And so I asked them, since there were snowflakes napkin ring holders in the bag, if I could get it 50% off, and she said sure. So I have sold the snowflake napkin ring holders really quickly for $25. I sold this set for $25, and I still have another set to list after I figure out what they're made of and how to list them. So good investment, and I'm glad I asked. Okay, this is my final piece, and I will leave you with this. I saw this little Cabbage Patch doll, and she looked Hispanic, beautiful, beautiful curly hair, and I thought, if I were a little Hispanic girl, I would want a Hispanic doll. And so she was only $3. Excuse me. And so I picked her up and listed her, and she sold in a couple days, and she again could have gone first class, but I just could not stand to think of her being stuffed in a bag. So I put her in a priority box, and I got a note back from the lady that bought her. It was a grandma, and she said, I woke up to this special delivery, and she had fallen in love with the little doll, and she knew her granddaughter would love it too, and thanked me for the sweet note that I included in the box. I always leave a handwritten note on the packing slip to thank people. So these are some of the sales that I've had in the last couple months. I have been an eBay crazy person, and that's why I'm sorry I haven't been able to post any of my hauls. I do have a outside of the house job and had my daughters home for the holidays, so I've been really busy, but I thought I would just do this little eBay update, and middle of December I did make top seller, so I was pleased about that. So anyway, my adventure continues. We'll see what this next year brings with the holidays season pretty well over. I'm still getting a few orders a day, but it has definitely slowed down. So thank you so much to those YouTubers that have posted videos about their eBay experience. I've learned so much from so many of you, and I hope you have a great new year. We'll talk to you later. Bye.